Hello and welcome to Vibrant Stories podcast with me, your host Kyle. I am joined today by my co-hosts.
It's your friend Cooper. Hello.
Nice voice crack. I'm Tim. Hi.
And we have a guest today.
Hello, I'm Kayla.
She is a good friend of ours. It is the month of January.
Towards the end of it.
Oh yeah, towards the end of it, but
Finally got around to making one of these.
Oh, towards the end of it, it's like this goes up on the very last day of the month all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but Kyle, what's our topic today?
our topic is bad and good decisions in the heat of the moment.
Spur of the moment decisions, whether bad or not.
So, who's going to start us off with a story?
Well, fine. I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, you start us off. Mine's more deep than funny, so maybe yours will be funny. And break the
Well,
ice.
so I've been thinking about it, and a lot of the times when I make good or bad decisions, it's more of like, a lot of times when I make bad decisions, it's like, I know this is a bad idea, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get in trouble, and I get in trouble, and it's like, whatever. So, I always forget those. But there is a story I remember, and it's not more of like a spur of the moment thing that like, was a good or a bad thing. It was more of like, okay, question. In high school or middle school or wherever, have you ever made the whole class laugh?
Yes, actually.
And isn't it the greatest feeling ever when you get everyone to laugh at a joke you make?
For the most part.
Yes. So, this was in freshman year of high school. I was in math class, and one of my classmates was trying to ask a question on this sheet paper that we had that was on the projector. So he kept asking the teacher to move it around. He's like, move it a little left, wait, now a little up. No, a little bit back down, now a little to the right. And then without thinking, I just went, take it back now, y'all. And everyone laughed, and it was the greatest experience in my high school career. Besides learning, of course, which I didn't do much of. But of that whole thing, that was the greatest moment of making a whole class laugh because of the cha-cha slide. That is my amazing story. I'll pass mine off to whoever's spitting a story out next.
All right, well, that was a minute.
That was a whole short story.
It was a whole short story. Yes, it was.
Cooper, here for the reactions, not the story.
Hey, some of my
Apparently.
stories are good. Most of them I forget, okay? I'm not... whatever.
I mean, to be fair, I forget like a lot of the details of stories and stuff over my life, and I just get the broad sense of things, which is why mine is a little bit more over a period of time type decision that kind of changed my life forever for the better. Yes, very much for the better because I don't have any regrets. So in high school, I was all set to be an engineer, civil engineering, architecture. I took CAD classes, and I loved the CAD classes. They were really fun, and it was basically you come in, you sit down, you've already got all your assigned work, and you just go. And you can get done with the entire class's work early. A lot of people did. I typically finished a few weeks early. Some people finished a lot earlier, and I really loved it. I love the...
This was what, like a homeroom type scenario, or?
No, this was CAD. This was like a drafting class. So basically it was all book work for the most part. And most, like, because I took it for 4 years, and each year's a different thing. So I'll take Inventor, which is the last thing I did. And Inventor it's an Autodesk software where you model 3D components for, like, I don't know, say you wanted to design a new bicycle. So the gears, the pedals, everything. A guy in my class, just as a project, recreated a B-2 stealth bomber. Because he was
Impressive.
crazy. Yeah, no, he did a good job on it. But I made, very proudly, Lego R2-D2. But,
Awesome.
Now, did you do it from memory, or did you do it, like, off of a model?
No, you had to get exact measurements. So I had a caliper, and I had a Lego R2-D2, and I got the exact measurements on everything.
So it was a scale-to-scale model.
Yeah, scale-to-scale model.
Awesome.
But it was just a really fun environment to work in. And I was always good at math, but I hated it. And I always loved the creative process. And I wasn't really necessarily into being an artist, but I really loved filmmaking, and I loved watching movies and stories and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I don't know that I want to go into a career where all I do is math and weight distribution and design bridges and all that kind of stuff, because I was like, that's not for me. I don't like that. So towards the end of high school, I started second guessing myself. I'm like, I've come this far, I might as well do it. And then, okay.
For those of you wondering what just happened, Cooper just grabbed a toy off the ground that I didn't even know we had.
You knew he had it. It's the bottom half of that Kinder Joy egg girl.
Yeah, but I thought that was, like, still on the table. I didn't realize it was on the floor.
No, I tried to flick it across the room and break it in half, but I failed, so I put it, like, on the bottom.
It's just kind of in pieces parts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, where were we?
Timmy was discussing his dreams.
Yes, my hopes and dreams.
Here lies.
I hope not.
I mean, you never know.
Well, I mean, I got this far. I'm staring at a microphone.
We're doing something.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yep. Very slow step. But,
Kind of like that.
all right. So, the turning point was... I always thought that I was really, really bad at drawing. And I am. But I thought I would never be able to draw anything that looked halfway decent. So I didn't even think of art as, like, a thing I could do. And at that point in time, I thought it was too late for me to get into the video field because I wasn't taking classes in high school. Because I was a high schooler and stupid and did not realize that it does not matter what you do in high school.
Yeah, I think that's a very odd misconception that a lot of people have. Like, Kayla, what about you? Do you have any experiences, like, in high school about, like, you know, things you thought you'd have to do, but, like, hey, opens up suddenly? I'm pretty sure everyone has some of these.
I mean, are you talking about, like, what we thought in high school, like, how that would affect our future, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, the high school I went to, they were, like, always pushing us, hey, you gotta focus on college. This is your main goal. We're trying to prep you for college. And basically, they prepped us for something that we're nearing the end of our college time, and I have not occurred barely anything they tried to prep us for. But, I mean, besides that, not really.
I mean, Cooper here, you didn't even go to college, and you're kind of A-okay.
Yeah, because I work for a living. That's all I do. I went to high school. You know, I essentially mooched off my friends for learning because I had this friend, and she did all of my high school projects for me. Like, all of them. I'm not even kidding. The only reason I probably got, like, a B in, like, government class was because my friend did my projects for me. Like, I like, that's why I have a hard time now with a few things, because I was so dependent on other people doing things for me that I don't know how to do things for myself, you know? So I've become I get a little, what's the word, doubtful in my actions, so which is why I haven't chosen to go to college, because I don't know what I want to do. Little side story, fun fact about me in my personal life. But it's one of those things where, I forgot what I was talking about.
Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. All right, sorry about that, Tim.
Yeah, no. Quick, before I get right back to the, it's funny, right? Right as I said, the turning point. We went off, not off topic, but we
Slight tangent.
we slowed it down. It's almost like we're unintentionally storytelling right now. But
Oh.
Cooper just figured out the Kinder Joy egg toy.
It's like a little... Okay, I get it now.
Oh. No, there was one project you did good on. I was part of it. I kind of helped.
You talking about that one English project that was terrible?
Yeah, that one guy forgot how to edit or whatever. He just...
The only compliment I got on that project was the main menu's nice. That was the only compliment I got on that project.
What I'm talking about is you were the one who organized everybody. So you did quite a bit of work on that one. You organized everybody to meet where, when. You basically managed the project. From my memory. I wasn't even part of the project. I just came by with nerve stuff and helped.
Was this in freshman year? It was with
No, there was that guy who just like basically screwed your group over because he
Yes.
didn't edit.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah, I know what project you're talking about. That was not a very good project. The outcome result. I mean, like me trying to get everyone together I thought was good, but the fact that like no one put in their part made the project terrible.
Yeah. I felt like it was just you and me really working, and
Yeah,
then
and we weren't even in the same class. I just asked you to help.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I need an extra body, and you're like, all right, cool. And then fucking, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, but yeah.
I'm prop guy because I own a lot of propish stuff.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
So for the longest I can remember, I'm just like, hey, we need props, and I'm like, okay. But back to the turning point of my story, which all kind of connects together, ish. Maybe. Who knows?
Life is a very mysterious thing. Everyone always intertwines with each other, and it all comes together to form the beautiful thing we all live in today.
It's like a pretzel.
I think you're. What?
It's like a pretzel, a little salty, but it's good overall.
I was gonna say a butterfly, Kyle, but
Blue?
pretzel.
We have a lot of good thumbnails for this podcast.
Pretzels.
Pretzel butterfly.
And also Kinder Egg toy.
As I was saying. So the turning point, surprisingly enough for the people in this room, the audience probably doesn't know yet. They will.
Yes, they know you.
The turning point happened at Disney.
Surprising.
For those of you who don't know, Tim goes to Disney.
At least 4 times a year. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but not really.
One time it was 3 times.
Wow, it's close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. All right, so there was this drawing class, and it was just like, draw your favorite characters, and I went in thinking, everything I draw is going to look like something at the bottom of a garbage can. Icky, covered in grime and grease. I'm talking like the kind of garbage can that doesn't have a bag in it, and everything seeps to the bottom. That is what I thought what I drew would look like. And then I drew Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, and it looked like him, and I was like, what?
Surprised myself.
Yeah, so and then after that, I just kind of kept drawing Disney cartoons. And I look back on them now, after taking classes and art classes and stuff, and I'm like, those aren't great. But at the time, it gave me hope, and that's all I needed. So I was like, I'm going to switch to animation and try to go to school, which landed me at the school I'm currently at, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to 100% place where we are. Sorry, Internet.
We're in a location.
We're in a location. Sorry, Internet. It's almost like the Internet's not always trustworthy. And we love you, but sorry.
We love you, don't trust you.
Yeah. We might drop a few things and figure out what state we're in at some point. We're not going to overly say it. I'm going to guess that you figured out we're from the South.
Is it
Just
the
from
accent?
the country accent, y'all.
I don't think any of us have a country accent.
We really
No.
don't.
We
do.
do.
We
We
have-
just can't take it. We just can't tell it.
Most
Well-
people think I'm from the north.
Really?
Or
Most
least-
people think I'm from the north. When I lived in Wisconsin for a little bit, people didn't believe that I was from the South.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess. Ooh, I almost said where we were. I guess the area of the
Well, they
state
know-
that we're in.
Now they know the region, at least.
The area of the southern state we're in apparently does not have a very profound southern accent.
Oh, no, it does.
Because when I
just
go,
don't have
I can say this because, okay, a hint. It's a southern state, but it's not Kentucky. Because I visit family in Kentucky. And whenever I come back from Kentucky, my southern accent kicks up. And I notice it. Everything I say, I notice. It's interesting.
Because
But,
you're around other people who
yeah.
probably have southern accents who just come
Yeah,
out.
I come back with a Kentucky accent, and I'm like, what happened? Because it's weird hearing your own voice and differently in your own head.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like on the microphone, weird.
Yeah, no, whenever
You
I
hear
hear my
very
voice,
much.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, you hear your own voice, and it's like, who is that? But, anyways,
Disney. Animation.
technically, past Disney now, onto the college that I'm currently at,
Yeah,
where I
animation.
met you two, Kayla and Kyle, and all of my current friends, aside from the high school ones, such as Cooper here.
I met him in freshman year.
I'm caressing his face violently.
Because I encouraged him to walk home with us. And he always walked so far away, and I had to go make friends with him forcefully. You did walk way in the back, though.
I did walk way in the back. And then for a time, I was just like, no, I want to walk against traffic because I was a goody two-shoes. So I would walk on the other side of the road from everyone else for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then cross at a crosswalk.
I remember that. I had to wait for you.
Yeah.
I was just that stupid kid who walked home in sandals for like a mile.
I didn't have to walk home. I rode a bus.
Like, yeah, I rode a bus, but like, you know those days when you would get out early, but like there weren't run buses, so if you didn't have a parent to pick you up, you'd have to stay for the full time. And I was like, basically, I was like, nah. I can just walk home. I memorized the route. I was in sandals.
See,
Well,
oh,
sorry. Not all of us had that luxury because I went to school 40 minutes from where I lived. So if I tried to walk, I wouldn't have got home anytime soon.
Until the next day.
If I was lucky.
I rode the bus in middle school because it was a bit of a walk. And I just wasn't comfortable walking. But when I got to high school, I was just like, it's actually faster for me to walk home than take the bus. So I walked.
It was actually a pretty short ride from my stop to the school because it was like two turns were there. But I was so bad about waking up in the morning and I didn't want to bother my mom anymore that I just started walking home and to school. And then whenever I did ride the bus, my bus driver was like, "You're up!" And I was like, "You're an ass."
All right, let's wrap up my story for a bit because I'm just towards the end. What it is basically that choice in high school to change gears completely and go from engineering to art focus. Granted, I'm not in animation anymore. It's my minor. I'm media management now. Because while I love modeling, I love texturing, I figured out that the whole animating bit is not for me. And that was all the rest of the course. So I was like, I'm going to stop now so that I can actually enjoy college. And focus more on writing, producing, directing, this kind of stuff. I would not have the free time to do this if I was in animation right now.
No, you would not.
So I'm just thankful for that decision because it led me to meet all of you guys. And I don't know that Vibrant Stories would necessarily be around because I wouldn't have met you.
No.
And
And I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't meet you guys. So
yeah. You'd be running that coffee shop you always wanted to run.
God, no. Fun fact. Do what you want to do. Like, if you don't have passion behind what you want to do, it's not going to happen. And, yeah. And if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be hell on earth.
This is true. You know, I found this out recently. I was at work, and fun fact! I found out I work with one of Hunter's old coworkers.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What's his name? Logan. He's a big guy. Hunter will probably hear this, and he'll know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so I was talking to him because he saw a post that when we posted a Gmod video on Instagram, and he was talking about how we knew Hunter and all this stuff. And when I was talking to him, I found I got really excited about talking about Vibrant Story Studios, and I was like, like most of the times when I talk about things, my work, other things I've done, I don't get excited. I'm just like, it's what I do, you know. Mm-hmm. But when I talk about this, I genuinely enjoy doing these podcasts, playing these games with you guys because it's an enjoyable experience, you know. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where it's like I haven't actually been excited about wanting to do something.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Caleb finished those logos and stuff for the new channel. For the channel. It's the same channel.
The new logos.
It looks new. It's just
big
like
high five for Caleb for finishing those.
Yeah,
like,
thank you.
Yeah, I still gotta get those intros from him though.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, it's just like it didn't feel official until we had like a thumbnail template. You ever had a template?
No, I can't say I have.
We have templates now.
Okay. I hope that doesn't mean something else.
I'm pretty sure it's a plate for your belly.
Tell me, please.
It's the piece of armor that Hero puts on Baymax.
Yes.
That's the tum plate.
Yes.
But yeah, it just didn't. It felt
Lackluster. It felt.
no. Like before, it was just like, yeah, we got this YouTube channel. Yeah, I've got business cards, whatever. And then I finally saw like a good logo, and I put everything up on the channel, and it's just like for the first time, it looked good.
It looked like an official channel.
Instead
of
were
like
coming together.
Yeah, it felt like pieces were finally starting to like click in, and I'm like, okay, this is going somewhere, and I'm excited.
Yeah, Sam. I want to know how this all pans out and how this all goes. Yeah, I want to hear Kayla's story.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off Tim a little bit because, as my friends know, I am a very indecisive person. Like, it's bad. It's really bad sometimes. And so, kind of going through school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised I've ended up to this point because I cannot make decisions very well. Because I guess what brought me to where we are today is kind of partially my decision, partially thanks to other people in my life. Because, fun fact about me, I went to magnet schools for middle school and high school because the private school I was at before middle school, what do you call that? Primary?
Elementary school?
Yeah, thank you. My brain is not functioning today, clearly.
Primary school.
But,
England?
I mean, overseas it is called primary school.
but it just didn't challenge me, so my parents were like, okay, we're going to stick you in this magnet school. Let's see how you do. Well, I floundered at first. That's another story for another time. But one of my good friends said, hey, here's this application for this magnet high school. You should apply. There's a bunch of students from my middle school were trying to get into there so we could continue in the magnet track. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check into this. And I tested it and I actually got in, which I didn't expect to happen. But from there, college was also kind of one of those, my parents expected me to go to college. I really couldn't decide because originally I was a film student. And so I'm like, okay, I wanted to do like a 9-month film program. Try to convince my parents to let me go to film school in New York. That did not go over well.
Yeah, New York is expensive.
Yeah, and it was like northern, middle of nowhere New York. And
Oh.
my parents are just like, what is wrong with you, child? But because at that point, I was so convinced that I wanted to be a film editor. That's what I wanted to do. And this also leads into my long track record of trying things and realizing I don't want to do it.
Yeah, how many times have you changed majors?
I'm currently, and what I'm in is my third major, because that's actually kind of funny. I thought I was going to go into film, I'm going to do photography instead. So went into college as a photography major, changed to film, and now I'm in business psychology. So
Yeah, quite the jump.
quite the jump, but I'm going to be helping you guys to make sure you don't get sued, so you can thank me now.
Yes, please thank Kayla for not getting us sued.
Yes. Our legal team.
Yeah.
Our one legal
Yeah.
team. Person.
Basically, all she has to watch is Kyle.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a squirt bottle for when you start screwing up, Kyle, because
I want to see this.
Buy it now,
sir. This is why we need to videotape these podcasts.
well, Tim wanted to have a stick to hit you with, but I found out in class the other day that's actually illegal. If I'm a manager, I cannot hit an employee with a stick. So,
Yeah, but
Can you hit your boss with a stick, though?
Wait, who?
that's a good question. I think that could technically fall under harassment.
What's the
But,
hierarchy in this group?
we have no idea.
Oh, trust me,
Timmy's
that's
the
something
boss.
I've been trying to figure out too. But
We'll sit down and do that later. It's
yeah. But
Just a group of friends having some fun. It's 5-Story Studios time.
but getting off that side tangent, going to that high school was something that ended up being really important to me because I never really had a close group of friends growing up. I had some friends that, I was kind of friends with because we went to church together since, like, our mothers were pregnant with us. Like, we've known each other our entire lives, but they weren't really the type of people I wanted to be around because they were catty and cliquey, and I would rather not go there. But I met some of my best friends before, apart from you guys, but they're friends. God, we've been close for going on 7-8 years now, which is crazy to think about.
That is.
But so I met them, and then a bunch of us came to the college that we're at together, which I finally went, okay, it's close. More so my parents said, okay, you're staying at home, this is where you're going to school, and I'm just like, okay, that's a plan. But how we all met was part of my indecisiveness because I couldn't decide what classes I wanted to take for freshman year. And my mom had just been nagging me to take the University 1010 class. Because she's like, you're going to need this. This is going to help you so much. I'm like, Mom, I don't need to do this. But fine, to get you off my back, I will do it. Which is ironically how I met you guys, because I'm like, okay, I can knock out this. I can knock out English. It'll be fine. And I ended up in class with Kyle and Tim, and I guess the rest is history.
Yep. And
Honestly, I think
I'm a third-party friend.
Yeah, third-party friend. Honestly, I think this whole thing was birthed out of that 1010 class.
It really was, because that's how we all really got to know each other.
Yeah, because
so.
Hunter was also in there. And
Hunter was with us. And then Erica came in because I was in the class kind of peeking her head in. So that's how you guys met her.
yeah, and then, like, as you said, you just entered the class to get your mom off your back about it.
Yeah.
I entered the class because they were just like, yeah, there's these 2 classes. Do you want to just take them together? And I was like, sure, why not? What could happen? And then this happened.
and I entered that class because that was the only way I could take honors English for my freshman year.
It was the only honors opening?
It was the only honors opening because I was late. So
Yeah.
That's not really that much of a surprise.
Yeah.
considering no.
Like, if I remember correctly, the first 3 or 4 times you registered for classes, you registered late.
Yeah, I did actually.
And they complained about it the entire time.
Oh, yeah. I just remember the complaining about it.
But, yeah,
I've
it's...
gotten a lot better about it though, because
Yeah, you register on time now.
no, I actually register early. Like as soon as it opens, but sometimes being late is a good thing.
I'm finally a senior. I get to register before everyone else.
I know, it's such a good feeling.
Finally at 93 credits. I can do what I want now. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
But anyway, as you were saying, Kayla,
What was I saying?
how you met us?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just out of that
but-
class.
Yeah, and out of that class, I guess, and then you guys also witnessed my major change after that, after I figured out film really wasn't my thing. But I guess the point of my story is, I guess my indecisiveness has actually brought a lot of good into my life, because now I have some of the best friends I've ever had in my life that I treasure dearly. So, and hopefully we'll all be together for a long time to come. So
I hope so.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and I don't know at that point if it's indecisiveness or just going with your gut and your heart feeling
yeah,
and just being flexible.
and that's true, and that's one thing that I have figured out kind of across different scenarios is I trust your gut, because that's really important.
I guess it's my story time.
Yep.
So this is the story of how I was stuck in a tree for 3 hours.
I love how we went from kind of like serious, heartfelt, stuck in a tree. This is not surprising whatsoever.
Yep, no. So this was most definitely a bad decision on my part. So my family, my family owns a few ranches down south. It's great profession, and when I was very young, I would play out in these cow pastures. So Me, my two brothers, and a cousin of mine, we were out playing in the cow pastures. This is early spring-ish, before school started. And I have been playing in these fields, every other summer, every spring, every fall. Like, these pastures have been a safe place with just regular cows. No bulls.
Oh, I knew this was where that was going.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My grandmother had brought in a bull that she had named Rojo.
Rojo.
Is an aggressive bull with a red hide. Is it tan or is it hide? It's one of the others.
Hi.
Yeah, but you got the point across.
Yeah, it's
We know what you're talking about.
yeah. He's basically like he's got like a light brown hide that like looks red at a certain light, whatever. But he was a bull. He was a bull that we had never seen in this field before. So yeah, my grandmother, God bless her soul, told us like, hey, don't play in the cow pastures. There's a newcomer. That's how she said it. There's a newcomer. We're stupid kids.
That's all she said. Just newcomer.
Well, yes, because like a newcomer is a term that you use to describe a bull that's there to like, do his business with the cows so that there can be calves.
I thought
Okay.
That is it's not the official term. It's just like, it's like a thumb sucker. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like if not knowing that that's the terminology, I would have just been like, oh, there's some new cows.
Yeah, it's like don't spook the new cows, something like that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you would think that my cousin who lives down there would know what that means. He didn't.
Oh no.
So, the four of us are out playing in this pasture, having a good old time. We see the cows and we're just like, hi, cows. They're stupid animals. And we see this new cow. And we're not thinking much about it because it's a cow with horns. And we're just kind of like, he's out by himself over there. It's fine. No. So another thing about these pastures is like there's this big pond and there's this one big tree. It's basically a bunch of hills. There's a broken down car there, like rusted out car with no tires. It's like sitting on cinder blocks, and it's just out in the middle of this cow pasture. I don't even know why it's out there. It's just there. It's a bunch of hills. It's got a few like little groves that are way out in the distance, and it's got this one big tree underneath a pond. And when I say pond, I mean like it's a pretty sizable bed of water with fish in it that the cows like to drink and swim in. Mm-hmm. Like you could swim in it. My grandmother didn't want to swim in it because like there were snapping turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. So Rojo sees that there are 4 new things in his new territory, and starts sauntering his big cow body over to where we are. I'm trying not to curse.
His big cow body.
I mean, it's a cow. This is a very large animal. Like, how else do you like his titanic bulk? Rojo decided to move his titanic bulk over to where we were, and we're playing by the pond. We're sitting out there skimming rocks. My cousin Austin is throwing rocks at the cows, which is probably what brought Rojo over in the first place. And so Rojo gets over to where we are. And my cousin's like, oh, hey, a new cow. Takes, like, one of the flattest, skimmest rocks that he was using to skim rocks on the pond. And he decides, I'm going to frisbee this towards Rojo and hit this cow in the face.
No.
Why?
Because we're young and stupid.
You see that cow over there? I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah, and, like,
Throws frisbee.
Rojo gets hit in the face with this rock, gets mad. Obviously.
Naturally.
Understandable.
I would get mad.
So, this very large, angry male cow, also known as a bull, does, like, the whole cartoon thing where, like, he pats his hoof on the ground and starts charging towards 4 kids, whose first reaction is to scream, scatter, and go 4 different directions. my stupid self decides the best place to go is through the water and up the tree. Well, everyone else scatters towards the electrical fence to get out of the cow pasture. I hit the water. The bull decides he's going to chase me instead of the others because he's already figured out in his small cow brain that, oh, that fence hurts. I'll chase this one. I hit the water. The bull hits the water. I get into the tree. The cow is still swimming, madder than hell itself. I'm feeling this cow's breath against my neck as I'm climbing the tree, and then suddenly I'm in a tree. By the way, I'm not a natural climber. I have never been a natural climber. When I climb in the trees, it's because something is chasing me, and it's not because I think it's fun. So, I'm in a tree. I don't know how to get down. The bull is just kind of standing there, basically rubbing his horns against the tree and occasionally snorting at me, and I'm just kind of like, this is fine.
Yeah, he's pissed.
This is fine. And then, yeah, I'm kind of sitting there in a tree. The sun's going down. My brothers and my cousin are on the other side of the cow pasture fence, kind of staring at me like, oh no, he's in the tree. And the bull is right there. And the cows are making a ruckus because the bull charges and they're just kind of like, up, danger, danger, scatter, cow brain.
Yeah. Danger, danger, scatter, cow brain. Danger, danger. Is one of them Will Robinson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will Robinson.
So, another fine caveat to the story is that, my family own, it's this conjoined cow pasture. So, there's a house on one end of the cow pasture, and then it goes on for, 40 or maybe it's even 60 acres. I can't remember at this point. It was a lot of land. And, we had this whole free reign when we were kids. So, we loved to play out there. But, we had our own little Narnia. And then on the other side of the cow pasture, there was another house. The house that we were at, which was the side with the big tree and the pond, no one was there.
Oh.
Naturally.
So their next thought was to, okay, we need an adult. So they walked around the cow pasture towards the other house instead of going inside and calling my parents. To be fair, this is still deep south, and you didn't have cell phones, and we'd have to memorize the numbers. So we probably didn't even know their numbers. So yeah, there was that. So they probably still had to walk, but they left me alone for an hour, and then another hour with a raging bull
In a tree.
in a tree. And this is where the dumb decision comes in.
Oh no.
I thought that. Oh no.
This was the dumb decision.
Nope. So, this is about, I think it's a 9-foot tall tree. I'm somewhere, 6 feet up.
I'm surprised the bull didn't get you.
I know, right? And I'm dangling over the water. And I think to myself, the bull's probably calmed down by now. Because, he's, laying down and just kind of sleeping. So I'm like, I know what I'll do. That water looks deep enough. I'll jump, swim to shore, and then walk out of the cow pasture and wait for them to come back. My brother and my cousin to come back. So, I stand up, and I'm not a natural climber, so this is an awkward position for me. You can imagine this 8-year-old kid, long and lanky, in this tree, trying to basically
Not die.
not die, but also shimmy my way across these branches towards the end of the branch so that I can jump into the big pond. And I'm not thinking straight. Well, I'm not thinking through it because I'm standing on what is essentially the thinnest part of the branch. Mm-hmm. And that's when the branch snapped.
Yep.
Oh.
As soon as I heard the thinnest part of the branch, I was
Yeah, it's oh, this
that's
isn't going well.
So I fall 6 feet, hitting branches on the way down. into the pond. Rojo laughs. I'm not kidding. The bull laughs. Like, it snorts, like shakes its head, snorts again, gets up and leaves. I'm soaking wet again, covered in mud. A couple of really nice bruises from where the tree branches slapped me all the way down.
Quality.
And I'm just kind of sitting there like an idiot in a pond. Like, I'm waist deep in this pond. Covered in mud. And that's probably the reason why I didn't get hurt too bad, because, like, the mud cushioned the fall.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, my mother and my grandmother chewed us all out when we got home.
Yeah.
So, that was that story.
Yeah, don't
Don't mess with the ball. Get the hearts.
Oh.
And don't mess with a Red Bull called Rojo,
Red Bull.
because they're assholes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you hit it in the face, so.
Like,
And then-
Kyle didn't hit it in the face.
Someone hit in the face, and then the ball got its comeuppance by you falling, and then left. That's what happened. Essentially, he was like, "Ha! How does it feel?"
It's like, I don't have to do anything now. Bye.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Did we ever finish? Yeah, we did. Okay, cool. I was making sure we finished up with stories.
Yeah, no. Yours was really short.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, look, the only other story I had was when I decided to go to Virginia for a day. That was a very okay. So, judging by Kayla's look on my face,
Well, now you have to tell it.
Yeah, you can't
So-
just say something like that and stop.
So
okay.
my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to?" He's like, "I got a friend. He lives out in Virginia. His name is Joey. He's a high quality guy." So I'm with my other pal,
Premium friend.
premium friend, high quality.
Premium friend. You have to subscribe.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of subscribing,
Please.
I'm not gonna plug us. Sorry. Go.
So, what was it? It was this one. I worked at a restaurant, and I had one day off, and it was a Wednesday. And my friend was like, my friend asked me this like 2 days prior, and he's like, do you want to go visit our friend up in Virginia? And I was like, sure. He's like, when's your next day off? And I go, Wednesday. He's like, we're gonna go then. And I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna go to Virginia. We drove. That's 10.5 hours.
yeah.
Right. And I've been to Virginia recently, and I drove. But so he was like, so his plan was the dumbest plan, cause he was like, it takes 10 hours to drive there. We're gonna drive there, hang out for 4 hours, and drive back. That's not what we did. I was like, that is the dumbest decision. Why would we do that? That's terrible.
That equals 24 hours. You know that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cause I had to be to work the next day, right? And I was like,
Of course you did.
of course I did.
You idiot.
So
Who will stay here till 5 a.m., drive back to his house.
to be at work at 7.
Yes.
Did that at least twice. Those were both terrible days. Anyway, so
No, they were great days. They were just terrible decisions.
terrible work days the following day. Those days themselves were great. Anyway, so we drive to Virginia. So basically what happened was I got off of work at 4 that day on Tuesday. We drove to Virginia, got there at 5 in the morning. Fantastic, right? We hung out with him. We got there at 5. He woke us up at like noon, and I was very mad because I was still tired. I was like, I had just been in a car for 10.5 hours, and you're waking me up to do stuff? Like, I know that's what I came here to do, but like, give me an hour, man. So we ended up going to, we wake up, we get some food, and then we play laser tag. And it was the coolest thing of laser tag I've ever done. Because whenever you go to laser tag here, it's always like there's a big room, it's blacklit, you shoot lasers at people, and I did terrible. But this one, it was like scenarios. There was like capture the flag, there was team deathmatch, there was like objectives, there was like a whole like area you could like, if you've been there enough and get enough points, you could
So Virginia does it right?
Virginia does it right. So if you get enough points, you can spend those on like different guns, like SMG, sniper shotguns. It comes like different things you can pack into like the gun. It's the coolest thing ever. And then we did that, and then he works at Busch Gardens, so they were having some holiday thing, and it was October, I think. So they were having like an employee can bring a +1 and he can go visit the new rides and like the new stuff. So I went with him.
Premium friend.
Premium friend.
Very premium friend.
So because it was a +1, I had to be my friend's boss's +1 to get in. Because they were like, who you with? And I was like, I don't know. And I almost got kicked out. But they're like, no, he's with me. I was like, oh, thank you. I was about to have to stand out here for like 3 hours. And I want to do that. So we went and we toured the park, blah, blah, blah. It was him, his boss, and a couple other of his coworkers who kind of joined every so often. But there was 2 new rides. I say rides, quote unquote, because they were like those like the haunted, not like haunted hayride, but corn maze. It was like a maze. It was like the scary mazes. So the first one we went to was one, and it was very ice demon themed. Ooh. It wasn't very good. There was too much space between the jump scares, and I could see them coming, and I was always the person I was right behind got scared first before I did, so I knew where they all were. And they never jumped out at me. I waved at a couple of them. I was like, hey, what's up? They waved back.
That's always like some of the best times to be the person watching people get scared. It's like the last haunted house we went to. I could always hear you screaming. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it was Addie screaming. I hear you laughing.
Yeah, no, I was not scared.
You were talking to them though.
I was.
He'd be like, hey. And then I'd be too distracted by him. I wouldn't notice the guy coming at me, and then I'd scream. So.
Yeah, no, it was great.
I was in the back, and I was scared. I was like nervous about being in the back because if there's no group behind you, I was like always watching the back, and then the people behind us like rushed. So I was like,
oh, they were so funny too.
They
were hilarious because like, didn't one of them like just collapse into like a mess?
That was when we were in line. One of the people like basically had her up against the wall, and she was like in the fetal position on the ground.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was great.
So fun.
It was.
All right.
So we amongst that there was also another one. It was a like your standard corn maze type thing. Mm-hmm. It was like the scarecrows and the whatever. And the scariest part, the thing that got me wasn't even like part of the attraction. It was a security guard. Here's the best part. It's not like he was like playing along and jumping out. He was just standing there. And the best part is that 3 people in front of me also got startled by him. So when I saw them jump, I was like okay, and then I kind of like forgot like in 3 seconds, right? Because I was like hanging with my friends, we were in a little thing, and I saw him in the corner of my eye. I was like, oh my god. And he just looked so confused. I was like, why is everyone... And then I walked through the rest of it. Nothing else got me.
It was just a
security guard.
To make sure no one messed with anything got me. Everything else, I was like, cool. I was like, hey, what's up, you know?
I mean, in the land of ice demons, the one thing that's going to be the scariest is the one guy that's not an ice demon.
But actually, no, it wasn't even the ice demon thing, because like I said, there was a few things that went on.
Oh, okay, so
it was there was the ice demon one. It was okay. Then hung out, blah blah blah, did some stuff. Went to this other one that was like a cornfield, and that was the one that had a security guard.
Well, he wasn't made of corn.
Yeah, so he was scared me.
So
I'm scared by authority. I jumped. I was like, oh, and then I looked over and I was like, it's a security guard. And I was like, why did I jump at that? Because I was expecting it. But I wasn't expecting it.
But you were still in Virginia and you still had work the next day.
Yeah, so get this.
Oh,
So
no.
I stayed until about 11 p.m. that night.
Oh,
you want to know I had to be at work the next day at 10, which isn't terrible because
It's not great either.
It's not great either because when we drove back, I didn't get back until 8 in the morning, and my friend didn't have to go to work that day, so he went to sleep, and I was mad and jealous because I had to go to work. So then I drove into work 2 hours early, and my boss was looking at me. She was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't think you were coming in today. And I was like, but I am. I'm here. Even before I left, even my friend's dad was like, stay the night. Like, don't drive back. I was like, no, I have work tomorrow. I gotta go to work. But none of my coworkers or any of my bosses thought I was gonna be at work because I said I was going to Virginia. So I get to work and I am tired. Like, I am exhausted. Right? My boss comes up to me and she sees I'm tired. She knows I was in Virginia. She says to me, what do you want to do? Because I'm usually a cashier, but I know how to do all the stuff up front because that's just how training is. Got it. And so I said, I want to look at the ticket and put the food together, and that's it. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to deal with people right now. So I did that for a while, and she let me off early. She let me off 2 hours early to go home. I went to bed that night at like 7:30.
Which is early for Cooper.
Which is very early for me.
About on time for Kyle sometimes.
Yeah.
And I probably slept 13 hours.
You probably needed it.
I definitely needed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But that was one of the best nights of sleep I ever got.
Yeah, no, dead tired sleep.
Dead tired sleep. Oh, that's the best sleep.
It is the best sleep.
You're like,
It
oh,
really is.
a lot of work to get to that point, but you know.
Yeah, but it was worth it though. That was a very fun day that I went to Virginia and played laser tag and did with that whole stuff. That was good stuff.
I want to play laser tag now.
Yeah.
We should play laser tag.
Yeah, the laser tag isn't good though.
I know.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I know a place, but we got to wrap up. So.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go play laser tag. Probably.
No, we're not. Don't lie to them.
And we might. But this has been Vibrant Stories Podcast. I've been your host, Kyle.
I've also been here. Jabal Cooper.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to him. I'm Tim.
And I'm Kayla, signing off.
Thank you for joining us, Kayla. All right. Bye.
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 Bye. Talk to you later.